You text back within minutes. You plan thoughtful dates. You listen to every word she says. And somehow, she's becoming more distant. Not less interested at first, just colder. What you are about to learn will completely change how you see attraction. Here's the part that breaks most men. The very behaviors you think are building connection are actually creating emotional suffocation. This isn't about playing games or withholding affection. This is about a psychological principle that governs how human nervous systems respond to emotional pressure. And nobody talks about the real reason it backfires. Meet James, software engineer, 32, just started seeing someone he actually likes. For the first time in years, he's excited, so he does what seems right. He texts good morning. He asks about her day and actually remembers the details. When she mentions her stressful project at work, he follows up 2 days later asking how it went. He plans a weekend trip to that restaurant she mentioned once in passing. Week 3, she's responding slower. Week 4, she cancels plans. Week 5, she says she needs space. James is confused. He didn't play games. He didn't ghost her. He showed up. He was. So what happened? What's the actual difference between the man she chases and the man she runs from? Here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. When you orient your emotional state around someone else's response, your nervous system starts operating from a place of lack. You're not texting because you're genuinely moved to share something. You're texting because you need confirmation that she's still interested. You're not planning dates from overflow. You're planning them from fear that if you don't, she'll lose interest. She doesn't consciously know this is happening, but her subconscious reads it perfectly. Every time you reach out from need instead of choice, you're essentially asking her to regulate your emotional state. You're outsourcing your sense of okayness to her response time. And the human nervous system is designed to move away from energy that feels like it's collapsing inward. Watch what happens in her body when she receives a text from someone who needs her validation versus someone who's simply sharing from fullness. The first creates a subtle contraction, a responsibility she didn't ask for. The second creates curiosity, space. Attraction happens in space, not in compression. Your attentiveness isn't the problem. The energetic frequency beneath the attentiveness is everything. Are you giving because you're abundant, or because you're auditioning for approval? This is what I call emotional self-sufficiency, and it matters more than your career, your looks, or how well you plan dates. Emotional self-sufficiency means your baseline state of okayness doesn't depend on external validation. You can be in relationship, be deeply connected, and still have your emotional center of gravity inside yourself, not inside her response to you. Think about it. James wasn't wrong to remember details or plan dates, but every action came from a question. Will this keep her interested in me? That question puts her in the position of having to manage his emotional stability. The man with emotional self-sufficiency does kind things because he's moved to, not because he's terrified of losing access to her. The difference isn't what you do, it's the state you're in when you do it. Man without emotional self-sufficiency checks phone every 10 minutes, feels anxiety when she doesn't respond within an hour, plans his weekend around her availability, feels relief when she texts back, feels panic when she seems distant. Man with emotional self-sufficiency reaches out when genuinely moved to connect, has a full life that continues whether she responds immediately or not, enjoys her company but doesn't collapse when she's unavailable, feels the same internal stability whether she's warm or distant. She's not looking at what you're doing, she's feeling what you're needing. And need repels while sufficiency attracts. Here's where people get it wrong. They think emotional self-sufficiency means acting distant or withholding affection. So they start playing games. They wait 3 days to text back. They pretend not to care. They perform indifference. That's just another form of need. Now you need to appear like you don't need. She can feel that too. It's manipulation, not self-sufficiency. Real emotional self-sufficiency isn't a tactic. It's an actual state of being where your worth isn't on trial every time you interact with her. You're not trying to prove anything or hide anything. You're just here, complete, available, but not needed. 3 things to build actual emotional self-sufficiency. 1. Notice when you're reaching out to someone from anxiety versus genuine desire. Before you text, ask yourself, am I doing this because I'm moved to connect, or because I need reassurance? If it's the second, pause. Let the need pass. Reach out when you're centered. 2. Build a life that fulfills you, whether or not she's in it. This isn't about having hobbies to seem interesting. This is about genuinely investing in work, friendships, purpose, and growth that make you feel alive independently. Your relationship should be the cherry on top, not the entire foundation. 3. Practice staying emotionally regulated when she's distant or unavailable. Don't collapse. Don't chase. Don't fix. Stay in your center and trust that her distance has nothing to do with your worth. This is where you train your nervous system that you are okay regardless of her temperature. So when you do everything right and she pulls away, it's not about what you did. It's about the frequency you were operating from. You can be attentive, thoughtful, and present. Just do it from fullness, not from fear. Attraction isn't a reward for good behavior. It's a response to someone who's already whole. If this shifted something for you, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more psychology that actually explains how this works. And tell me in the comments, when did you notice yourself reaching out from need instead of choice? Let's talk about it.